Hello again. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for stopping by. Please join me. I'm here to continue where I left off. Okay, the video abruptly cut, ran out of storage, but again, nothing is coincidence, nothing is by chance. Everything happens for a reason. Okay, so I'm not even mad. Okay, I guess I'll just go into the notes and read the rest or what's here about the dominoes, because the last video was just off the dome. Okay, but if there's anything else to say there, is yeah, you can't go so hard to where you block out your partner, because the one who chooses to sit in front of you is the most loyal one, because again, they could give you eye contact. And people who are deceptive usually can't look you in the eye. Okay, so most people think it's the person to your right, it's like your right hand man, whatever, but it's your partner, the one who's able to look you in the eye, the one who is working with you, trying to figure out how you're moving, who's focusing on your first play and following to see how you play and matching that energy. That's a real partner, the person who wants to play with you, especially if you enter into a game where you're playing against other champions, sharks, or you know what I mean. Players, real players, serious players, where there's something at stake. You want to have somebody to work with you. It's better to be in a partnership in a game like dominoes than cutthroat. The worst thing is to think you're in a partnership and your partner is playing cutthroat. Okay, so that's relevant to somebody somewhere out there. All right, like, you lost a good player in this game, and now the person in front of you maybe putting on a show, maybe putting on a front. Okay, acting friendly, I don't know. But the person to your right, like I said, there's always an agenda there. They want the challenge. They've been waiting for this day to pass you, to see you pass. They want to see you pass. They delight in you passing. And the more they could see you pass, the better it is. Even if they don't win the game, if they could just make you keep passing, okay, that's gratification in the utmost. The person to your left, again, like I said, of course you have to consider them, but they're more focused on the person to their right to think about you, okay? But I don't know. Just don't block your partner out of the game. I think that's the main message there. What do we have here, my lord? Imaginary players. Cutthroat. Okay, so cutthroat, trying to make power moves, control the board, show off your skills, that you forget to consider your partner. The objective is to play cutthroat with each player except your partner, if it's a good partner. And surely you should have good judgment to choose a good partner. Okay, that's how strategic you have to be when it comes to dominoes. Know when to leverage control. Never leave your partner out when you are going hard to surpass every opponent. Where everyone, I'm sorry, this is so small, where everyone becomes an opponent, including your partner. Let me say that again, because that sounds like it may be important. Never leave your partner out when you are going hard to surpass every opponent, where everyone becomes an opponent, including your partner. You can win the game being, cutthroat, but you stand the risk of losing the opportunity to play with that partner again. Let me read that again, because that sounds a little deep. You could win the game being cutthroat, but you stand the risk of losing the opportunity to play with that partner again. Because now they know how you play. You don't play fair. That was profound. Okay, That's profound there. Okay, so now somebody knows you don't play fair. Okay, for somebody somewhere out there, anybody, anywhere, but we know where this is going, who this may possibly be about. Okay, allegedly be about. All right, we got to protect ourselves over here. All right, somebody's not playing fair. What do we have here? I got to hold this closer to the light. You can't flex too much power to the, what's this, catastrophe or devastation? I guess both applies, of other players, especially partners. Okay, so you got to consider all players on the board. Playing fair is the best thing to do, to be honest, because there we know is true skill. It's true skill that makes you win the game. You win fair and square. All right, but if you have to employ certain tactics, again, eliminate players, substitute players, replace players, it's questionable if you are a master. All right, so that's a message for someone. I was thinking about when I was rewatching the video showing cleavage, which was a little bit too much. Okay, so there's somebody here who's a little bit too much in their personality. Very outrageous or just extra. I'm getting like loud or in your face, but they might have implants. They might be chesty, have boobs, big boobs. Okay. This is just a push-up bra, if you're thinking. But I think someone has implants here just for the way I was doing this. Okay, or it could also mean someone's wearing a wire as well. Just throwing that out there. Okay, underneath their bra or in between big boobs. Okay. What else did I get since that video? Because I didn't even get into, well, I just started this, but before going on, I had some channel messages. I just started channeling. And connections are being made just like a domino, okay? It has to add up. You cannot put a 5 where it's supposed to be a 4, okay? And a lot of times a piece gets mixed up, okay? When we're at a funeral in Jamaica, there is rum being passed around. So some of the players might be under the influence and just, you know, there's a mishap, a mistake, say the wrong thing, because I did say slip up, right? I didn't want to have a slippage. All right, so somebody might have been under the influence and, you know, said something that should not have been said, and it caused a piece to be in the wrong place. And that wrong move, because like I said, one wrong play could ruin the game in its entirety. Okay, because now you got to figure out who played that, who made the wrong move, and everybody's trying to backtrack. Who played that, you know, and you might as well start the game all over again, because that's the task. That's tedious. Okay, one wrong move. Did I say the best approach to dominoes is partnership? Okay, you know why? Well, I guess it depends. You just got to be strategic and good at your game. You have to be skillful and confident in your own abilities here. Because I was going to say, sometimes if you're not in good standing with your partner could be in cahoots with the other 2 players on each side of you. And it's like an attack, a gang up, where they're all cutthroat. They all want you, see you as a target, want to see you pass, want to see you lose. Okay, there's lots of moving parts in dominoes, but you just got to know the game. It's all about the game. It's all about knowing the game that you're playing. What else I have here? I remember the other day something came out about HH, and I didn't really quite get it. I remember doing some research, but it didn't occur to me as anything important. But it came back to me now. And it's not that it's 2 H's for this message, at least. Maybe HH does mean something for another time. But right now, this HH is giving me Hermes bag for some reason. Okay? And I want you to, for those who have been tuning in, like I said, my lucky 7. I've been mentioning colors. When I say we, I'm talking about the spirit and I, by the way. But I don't even know where that page is, where I held up to disclose some information. But I know my eye caught 3 things on that page. One was about colors. It just said colors. Something else about 3 words. And I don't remember the other thing, to be totally honest. But with the colors, one more color I want to bring up is turquoise. You know, turquoise, bluish, but turquoise. Just adding that to our color list. Okay. I looked a little bit into Hermes, and it sounds French. I don't know if stuff about France been coming up. Didn't quite know what it meant at the time. Okay, so maybe there's some connection here. Going back to the domino, let's make connections. Let's make sure a 3 is a 3, a 4 is a 4. Okay. I remember saying something that somebody might be a horse lover. Okay. There's some connection. Equestrian heritage behind Hermes. Okay, these are just little fun facts. All right, fun facts. You could Google all of this stuff. All right. Then I'm like, Titanic. I have to Google this one because it came to me late. And I want to be as accurate as possible. But you could do your own research. Draw your own inferences and conclusions. All right? You don't have to believe anything I say. All right? But what I want to know, what I'm asking Google right now, is if the Titanic went down in the Atlantic Ocean. If Titanic is a true story, because it's up for debate. Everything is just up for debate now. We don't know what the truth and facts are anymore. You know, everything seems to be like a mirage, like a Twilight Zone. I don't know if that's just me, though. North Atlantic Ocean. Okay. Then I thought about what made the Titanic plummet, or maybe it didn't plummet right away. Let's just say sink. Okay. And it was hitting like a rock, like a glacier. Okay, there was a collision between the Titanic and a glacier rock in the Atlantic Ocean. And Jack chose to save Rose. Again, they say this is all make-believe, because he knew both of them wouldn't survive on what was left. Okay? And the ship was going to sink. The ship was going down. Okay? Many went down with it. Not everyone survived the catastrophe. Okay? But Jack and Rose were the main character. And Jack had to make an executive decision to save Rose. I love beautiful stories like that. Okay. All of what I just said may be relevant to somebody somewhere out there, anybody, anywhere, but it may not resonate with you at all. Okay. All this may be make-believe, because I have been storytelling, children stories, to be specific. Okay. So maybe somebody in question here might be deemed childish, childlike. I don't want to use derogatory terms, because I'm not the type to really put people down. Okay. But what's coming through is that this person is remedial. Okay. Also, with Titanic, with the classism there, that gives a distinction between one thing and another thing. So one thing could be noted as the others, and I've been channeling the others. The movie The Others inspired the channeling. Okay, so there is like some kind of classism involved, which I believe in one of the messages I listed out all the isms and schisms that are problematic among us. But that's my own personal opinion and observation and experience. Okay, just throwing that out there as well. What else have I noted here, my lord? Okay, did I speak about the boobs here? That somebody might have implants, or somebody might be a plant. You know, if you want to just say plants, like I'm plant, like I'm planted, I've been planted here. Okay. Again, go with your own train of thought, though. I'm just sharing mine out loud. Okay. Someone might be an air sign here. We also have fire sign, as was demonstrated in some of the readings in the tarot card. You know, like some kind of air versus fire. Okay. It could be more than one air sign, more than one fire sign in this interplay. Okay. I also use the pause feature on my phone, and this is like new to me. I'm being totally honest. I'm good at some things, but not everything. Something might be relevant about a phone. Oh, I just got a notification. It's now 1:43 a.m. Saturday. Something about a sun. But Saturday, October the 18th, 1:43, just got a confirmation. That might be a message for somebody somewhere out there. Cover up. Okay? I just had to cover up. Okay? Somebody might be using their phone as a recording device. Okay? Or there could be multiple ways where a person is gathering information. Okay, since I did this area and then chose to pause the phone. Just putting some things out there. My mind is one of those minds that just keeps going. And I take notes. I take notes and I make correlations. And I could be a little bit studious, because I think nerdy is now derogatory too. Like everything is just a derogatory word these days. You don't even know what to say, you know, how to communicate. So someone here may not be a good communicator. There might be some kind of speech impairment or language barrier. Okay. Or thick accent. Something about communications here. Something about interlocking as well. Because again, I thought it was HH, but it turns out to be one H, just interlocked. Okay, so there could be a partnership, like an agreement. An interlock is giving me agreement. It also gives me connection, since we're talking about dominoes. Okay, orderly connection. Something's in order, something's by order, something's numerical as well. It also gives me maybe bloodline. Okay, hierarchy, positions of power. It's giving me a lot, but I don't want to keep the channel on that. Let's continue. They say something about horses, equestrian. So somebody might own horses or like to go to those royal derbies. Is that what is that? I don't know. Something about horses here. What else? Okay, did I say France? I had like a little note come in at 12:44, and it says party started, and automatically I thought about Party Up in Here by DMX. Okay, so that might be relevant to something as well. I know that song, love that song, by the way. Okay, was a banger, by the way, like most of his hits. But if you listen to the lyrics of that, maybe I should just pull it up and see what is appropriate to relay here. Party up in here. Because it really sounds like he ain't playing, okay? He sounds like, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me go all out. Up in here, okay. Y'all gonna make me act a fool. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me lose my cool. Up in here. If I gotta bring it to you cowards, then it's gonna be quick, alright? All your mans up in the jail before, you know. And all the other cats you run with, get done with, dumb quick. How you gonna cross the dog with some burn-ish, alright? Alright. Just check it out for yourself if you feel like it resonates with you. But there's a message in there for somebody. Okay, it looks like things are going to get a little bit hectic, chaotic, maybe a ruckus. What song is that? I think that's Intro, where he says F around and start a riot. Okay, so riotous as well. All right, some kind of situation. Again, it could be between air and fire. All right. I know we are almost exiting air. Okay. Going into the fire element. There seems to be some contention here. Anyhow, moving back. Anything else here? Oh, I'll just say this is just one line I started channeling right before coming on. It's a Whitney Houston song. If tomorrow is Judgment Day, ... My love is your love. Okay, so that might be a message for someone. Might be a separate message for somebody separate from who I believe this message is specifically for. But I guess this is for everybody, though. If tomorrow is Judgment Day, my love is your love for whoever your love is, okay? And I leave my love with you always for whoever it is you are. You could always find a little bit of love over here, all right? And we never know when Judgment Day is, okay? Because X gonna give it to you is coming through right now. 1-2 X is coming for you. No man knows the day, the time, the hour that our Lord is going to make the appearance. I'm also hearing that as well. All right. So just always be ready. Be on guard. Watch and pray. Don't be caught slipping. Okay. That's also another DMX track. Slipping. Okay. Falling. Can't get up. Somebody might experience that in that exact order. Okay. Slip, fall. You just can't get up. Okay. So I'm going to move backwards, like I said, because these are the most current messages. But think about the things I said. I also have New York undercover here, and that's right above ditzy blonde with boobs. Okay, and this person doesn't have to be an original blonde. This person could just wear wigs, like change their wigs a lot as well. But we have New York undercover here. And while I was writing that down, I didn't write it down here, but it's coming back to me. And I remember I did have this thought in this moment while I was writing that down, which was Roman's revenge again. So this situation has revenge written all over it. I'm not going to deny it, sugarcoat it for anyone. Okay, there's no need to be pusillanimous right now. Okay, I feel like this is urgent. There's an urgency. Maybe I should stop quoting DMX so much. But Roman's revenge in that track, Nicki Minaj featuring Eminem, is something Eminem said that I heard in my head while I wrote that down. So let me see if I could find it. And no disrespect, these are the lyrics. This is what channeled at the time when I wrote this down. Okay, so don't be so sensitive. Okay, if you identify with this description that Eminem is going to state. Okay, these lyrics are by Eminem. Just give me one moment. Let me find his verse. Okay. I ain't into S&M, but my whip's off the chain. A little drop of candy paint drips off the frame. Twisted ass mind got a pretzel for a brain, an eraser for a head, effing pencil for a frame. You don't like it, then peel off, B. Every last woman on earth I'll kill off, and still wouldn't FUSLUT. So wipe the smile on your grill off. I swear to God, I'll pass a happy meal off. Get the wheels turning, spin and wheel off. Snap the axle in half. Bust the tie rod. Quit hollering, why God? He ain't got ish to do with it. Bygones will never be bygones. The world ain't finished swallowing my wad. I ain't finished blowing it. Nice bra. Eminem, you're so dope. I'm struggling to read this because it's so tiny, but if I zoom in, all of the words won't be in view. Okay, but I love me some Eminem. All right, let me pause here because now another Eminem track is thing. Lose yourself. Okay, so somebody may have lost yourself. All right, or somebody needs to like take advantage of an opportunity. You only get one shot. Do not miss a chance to blow. Okay, back to this. Where did I leave off? Okay, no. Okay, yeah, okay. I ain't finished blowing it. Nice bra. Hope it'll fit a tough titty B. Life's hard. I swear to God, life is a dumb blonde white broad with fake tits. I don't know, it cut off. So maybe I should stop there. But you get the gist. Okay, it's back. Because this is basically the personality that's coming through. What my spirit is saying, describe this person who may be a Libra, might be into Hermes bags a lot. Okay, something about the color turquoise here. All right, something about New York undercover. All these pieces may or may not go together. Okay, these are just little notes. All right, and one thing I know, one thing for sure, two things for certain, that the dots always seem to connect eventually and in time when necessary. Okay, let's finish this description of who this may be. A character description here, a character profile. Okay. Hope it'll fit a tough titty B. Life's hard. I swear to God, life's a dumb blonde white broad with fake tits and a bad dye job who just spit in my effing face and called me a effing tightwad. So I finally broke down and bought her an iPod and caught her stealing my music. So I tied her arms and legs to the bed, set up the camera, and pissed twice on her. Look, 2 peas in a tripod. The moral to the story is life's treating you like dry sod. Kick it back in his face, my God. It's Shady and Nicki Minaj. You might find the sight quite odd. But don't ask why, B. Ask why not. The world is my punching bag. And if I'm garbage, you're a bunch of maggots. Make that face go on. Scrunch it up at me. Show me the target so I can lunge and attack it. Like a like a dungeon dragon. You fell off. They must have bumped your wagon. You must have went off the, back. I'm about to go off the deep end. Told you to stay in your lane. You just jumped in traffic. Is this the thanks that I get for putting you on? It's my fault. Okay. I don't even know why I had to go through all of that, but I was led to do that. So if we're creating a character profile, you know, in our imaginary players, theatrical show here on Broadway, I'll let you put your pieces together. I'm just giving out clues here. Right, Blue? How much time? 30 minutes. I think that's enough for this one. Let's pull a few cards and I'll rewatch it. Hopefully it's kosher. And I'll upload it. And everything goes well with the upload, okay? Because the last video cut, like I said, but everything happens for a reason. But I have more messages to share. So much more. And my daughter's gone to her father's, you know. So I got time. I got time tonight. I'm not feeling too tired, but even if I were, I would want to take advantage of the night. Someone may be celebrating a birthday soon or just recently celebrated a birthday. Okay, especially with all the Libra talk. Let me see what's currently on the playlist. Did I download any songs? Okay, I don't want to go back to the book because then I'll get carried away. Okay, now the playlist closed, but what's on the screen is Bring Your Whole Crew, which is a mix. And then underneath that, Dirty Money. Okay, so some Dirty Money involved here. And that's Coming Home, featuring Skylar Grey, okay? So those two artists might be relevant to a situation. Some way, somehow, we know that my dear, late, great DMX should not be a part of any of this mess. But I'm just sharing what I was told to look up. Go into YouTube, see the playlist, but no playlist is there, just suggestions. All right, so Bring Your Whole Crew. That's one of my joints. All right, and it again has that revenge theme to it. I got blood on my hands and there's no remorse. I got blood on my, cause I a corpse. Nasty nigga, when you pass me, nigga, look me in the eye. Tell me to my effing face that you ready to die. You'll be it. Somebody needs to listen to that song as well. Maybe both songs are relevant for somebody here. Okay? Who shot you? Nigga, like you don't know. Sticking you for your dough while I'm effing your broke hoe. Sorry. Niggas can't touch me. Dust be. And I got like 1,000 people behind me to start a war. Red Cross couldn't collect the mess. Little thicker, cause in the dark you ain't nothing but. I'm gonna listen to that after. Split you with. I bring beef with ninjas and string them out like spaghetti. Is that what I'm hearing? I bring beef with ninjas and string them out like spaghetti. Somebody needs to go listen to that song, like immediately. If it resonates, go listen to it. Okay. Revenge cometh for somebody here. Somebody is being set up for this revenge plot. Okay. Seems to have been an implantation somewhere, or some implantation device. Okay, somebody needs to be careful on their P's and Q's. Okay, this seems to be fast approaching, by the way, like some meeting is being scheduled, arranged, set up. Okay, this is giving me like a boardroom vibration. All the domino talk, domino board, controlling the board. Somebody's in control of a board here. Okay, a CEO or whatever those board terminologies are. It's all about power here. Okay, so some meeting with some powerful players or some imaginary players, people who think they're powerful. Okay, because the word imaginary or the phrase imaginary players came out. So that might be relevant to something here as well. All right, it's the real versus the fake. That's what I'm hearing as well. Okay, there's definitely a counterfeit in the room. All right, somebody who's there who shouldn't be there. Okay, and they're being used. They have users, they have handlers, they've been sent. Okay, I don't know whoever that is for. Let's see what we hear. A few came out here. I'm gonna read this one a little after. We have ignition. Didn't I say that air and fire energy is ignition? The fire needs more air to be inflamed, okay? For it to be progressive and spread, it needs air to push it, okay? So air pushes something, or air is being pushed at something or someone, okay, to cause some kind of ignition here. All right, I can't make this up. I'll read this card after. Next, the house that folly, I'm sorry, I have to get better lighting here. The house that wisdom built, folly destroyed. And I already see an omission here. There's a word missing here, so there's an omission of something. And we know that lies and fabrications are omissions too. When you make up a story and deliberately leave something out, that's still deception, okay? Still a lie. So lies by omission here. But there's something relevant about this card even being in here, because of course I'm a person who acknowledges my mistakes, especially when I catch them. Okay, so I usually catch them right away. I realized I was writing faster than I was thinking, or whatever happened. I don't know what the reason is for the mistake, but I realized my mistake and I said I wasn't going to add it to the other cards. Okay, I don't want to contaminate my deck. And of course, I don't want to portray myself as somebody who doesn't know how to construct a proper sentence, or even copyright. Copyright might be involved here, because that's not what I meant. I meant like copyright and copy. Can't make none of this up. Anyhow, there's a rhyme and reason to why this is in the deck. A few cards, what I would consider shoddy cards, that shouldn't be in the deck. Okay, so now we're not playing with a full deck, or a deck that is, let's just say, the most knowledgeable book on the shelf. Okay, but I was led to go into my scrap bin where I keep mistakes, you know, because there's always some kind of room, especially on the back, where I could jot something else down, because I jot things down a lot. All right, I was led to take a few and put in the deck, and I'm like, why? You know, and I just had to like say, I hope none come out. And here we are with one, hence the explanation. Okay, so somebody might have to give an explanation for something. But anyhow, what came to me when I was, you know, speaking with my Lord about this issue, I felt like God wanted to demonstrate something. Okay, and what I gathered, what I received, was God could use even the scraps, okay, for his purpose. especially if the scraps have genuine, sincere love in their heart for the Most High God. Okay, Lord God of Israel, all right, our Redeemer, Christ Jesus. So everything happens for a reason. I didn't discard these things right away because I see how multi-purpose things could be. And I try to really see the value in things and use it according to its value and not cheapen the value of something. Okay, so like I said, everything that comes out is relevant. All right. So I think God wants someone to hear, somebody out there, even somebody that might not relate to this case, just a viewer, because I really hope those watching has nothing to do with this. I hope nothing resonates with you unless I indicate that it might be a general message or a word of wisdom, encouragement, exhortation that might, encourage you, comfort you in some way, shape, or form. All right. So right now is one of those moments where I feel like God wants to encourage somebody somewhere out there, anybody, anywhere, that you can be used if you genuinely want to be used. If you submit yourself to the Most High God to be used, whether you have been scrapped, by society, whether you feel useless, worthless, give God a chance to see what God could do with the leftover, with the scraps. All right? I think that's a message for somebody because there is no way I will be this vulnerable to pretend like I am not smart, knowledgeable, educated. Not the most educated, but not the least. I acknowledge I have an education. I can't deny it, and I should definitely apply it. So this is God. This is on God. One of those things when I say it's on God, it's on God. And God wanted somebody to know that on a serious note. Okay, on a serious note, God could use the scraps. I don't care where you are in the world, in life. You could be locked up in prison for even the worst charges, and that may vary according to who you ask, but I don't think anyone truly has the right and authority to judge when we all know we're sinners. Okay. So I think God is going to either scrap somebody or somebody who was scrapped by society, repurpose that person, transform that person, save that person, heal that person. Okay, I'm getting all of this right now. I think God is going to work a miracle in someone's life, someone who thought it was over for them. Okay, maybe because God saw that it was intentional, his scrapping. Okay, maybe somebody deliberately wanted to scrap this person, and this person cried out to the Lord in sincerity of heart, and God hears, God answers, God delivers. All right, so don't give up on yourself yet. Don't quit. You never know what God could ignite in you at any minute, any hour, any day. We don't know when that king's gonna come. All right, that was the message. So I know what word is missing, obviously. The house that wisdom built. So the fact that built is missing, that's a message in itself. All right, Titanic was built, it was here, now it's gone. So we're going to see a building. Like I said, I'm getting brand, like some kind of all-American brand, tanking. That was a message. You might want to backtrack or just read the title of the latest videos to get the gist of what the messages have been about lately. But the fact that the word built is not there is either a building is going to be demolished, a physical building, or people, like a body, a committee, a board, okay, an organization, a company, or a builder, okay, the person who built. Okay, so the builder, okay, this could be a mason of sorts, okay, but somebody who allowed their folly to build up without calling out to God, asking for God's grace, okay, and mercy. Maybe this person is an unbeliever and thought that they could get away with their folly. Okay, but the house that The house, I was going to say billion. So billionaire might be involved here. The house that wisdom built, folly destroyed. I didn't write the scripture. It sounds like something that will come out the book of Proverbs, okay? So somebody lacks wisdom here because we know that Proverbs is filled with nothing but wisdom, all right? So you might want to Google that quote for yourself, or you may already be familiar with it, okay? But just remember, it started with wisdom. But we know that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like I'm telling you, this is scraps here. Scraps. But let me see what's on here that may be relevant. We have not a personal issue per se, but it is an ethical issue. Okay? So something is an ethical issue. Next, we have your faith will make you whole, rich, and famous. Ooh, that might be a side note. Next, we have issue 1. Who is the real sick one here? And then a little note that says poetry. So somebody might be a writer of poetry, into poetry. It's quite poetic, or about to see some poetic justice of sorts to see who the real sick one is here, okay? Now I'm looking at the card. I might as well expose it. I was just waiting to see what other cards came out. But we have spend that cash a little harder, and she might make you dive in the water. I'm not saying it right how she says it, with that oomph, you know, that bravado, that strong conviction. But it's a line from Church Girl by Beyonce, okay? So that might be relevant, okay? The house that wisdom built, folly destroyed. Might be some connection. I'm not going to force a connection there, because it's not a personal issue per se, but maybe an ethical issue is going to be ignited, brought to light, and people are going to get incensed. It's going to be quite inflammatory, like I said, fighting words. Somebody here is an earth angel, though. Maybe an earth angel is going to intervene, you know, tries her best to inform people or somebody in this situation of what's ahead, what's to come. We have no matter what, okay? This is coming, whether you believe the earth angel or not. This is coming, okay? That's by T.I. And T.I., if I'm not mistaken, is a Libra, okay? So again, that Libra energy. I'm going to verify, of course. I don't want to give out false information, okay? You could think I'm a little bit crazy, but I don't ever want you to think I'm a liar, okay? That's insulting. TIB Day. September 25th. Yep, that's Libra, okay? We have everything I throw up, blow up. And that's a line by Kanye. I don't remember what track. Oh, ego. I got a big ego. Okay, so we're dealing with big egos here. Again, I'm getting board meetings, so of course, power figures. Okay, highly influential people. People that have control over a lot of people some way, somehow. Okay, so all the people behind the scenes, you will say. We're dealing with big egos here. Who else is on that track? Beyonce is on that track. So this is the second Beyonce reference, okay? A church girl has a big ego, or somebody may have started off as a church girl, innocent earth angel, the house that wisdom built, and then ego caused folly to destroy that house. You know, ignition is giving me, it's a burning house. This house is on fire. This house is going up in flames. The blow up here is so big. It's going to be a big blow up. Whatever this is. Again, remember, I got fighting words, inflammatory words, throwing hands. Not saying all these things are going to happen. I'm just giving you a recap of some of the things that were channeled recently. Okay? So something is going to blow up. Something's up in the air. I can't even speak. Something's out of one's control. That's what wants to come out. Something that somebody tried to control, tried their best to control, thought they could control. They no longer have the power to control it. There's going to be a major blow up, some destruction with this folly destroyed here. This is an ethical issue. This is an ethical issue. Spend that cash a little harder, and she might make you dive in the water. So it might involve trafficking of innocent girls, prostitution, perhaps. Not saying it's by Beyonce. I'm just saying this is being channeled. Spend that cash a little harder. It's given like sugar daddy, escorts, people pretending to be one thing but doing another thing for that cash, if you know what I mean. Okay, what do they call these, or some of the new lingo for this? Like yacht girls, girls who fly to Dubai. Hello, Dubai. I flew to Dubai before, not for certain reasons, but you know, you don't have the best reputation out here, Dubai. But yeah, like, give it up for money. Money is involved here for the exchange of goodies. Okay? Maybe this is what's gonna come out. Something that centers. This is all allegations. My mental ramblings. Life or death, live or die. I will never live a lie. This came out before in a different writing, so it's a duplicate. So there's a duplicate of something here, more than one copy of something here. But also, this is like an oath. Okay, so we might be dealing with people who had to take an oath for something. But I know for me what it means. It means I'm not here to lie. I won't lie. And even if I were dead and had an ability to lie, I still wouldn't lie. All right? And that's the same attitude and integrity that DMX had. I want to know if DMX has something to do with this situation. Okay? But the truth shall prevail. That's what I'm hearing. The truth shall surface, come out, blow up. Blow somebody's house up. I have some notes, but I'm not going to try to squeeze it into this video. We're already at the 53-minute mark. Okay. This is another scrap box thing when I was getting ideas for my shirts. My eye is catching Oxkilla. And I don't know if you ever watched that video for my Loyal 7 where I had on Oxkilla. And I said every now and then, you know, I like to kill an ox, you know, a blue moon. Blue moon. It doesn't happen frequently. But I feel like that blue moon is fast approaching where there's going to be, you know, we might have to sacrifice an ox. There's going to be some kind of sacrifice here. I was led to make that shirt, by the way. Divinely guided. But I think the time cometh. I cannot make this up. And I'm so sorry when I raise my voice to anyone who has any hearing impairment, hearing sensitivity. But I psych myself out to see the way spirit flows, because life or death, live or die, I will never live a lie. Look at this. We have a CI. There's a CI on the scene somewhere. Taking notes of slip-ups, of any slippage. Documenting. Maybe one of those persons who like to take pictures with their phone, but their phone is actually doing something else, actually recording you, but it looks like they're taking a selfie. Okay, so I'm getting somebody who likes to take selfies. So this might be somebody who's like on the gram a lot, okay, who likes to post pictures a lot. All right, let's go on. Let me wrap this up. So much time has passed. I don't even think we need more cards. So after I go through this, I'm just going to end it or just pull the top card. We have in the middle of the crossfire here. And a notification. I can't make this up. 222 on the clock. Just got a YouTube notification. Maybe somebody liked my video that I recently uploaded or something. I will have to check that. But I can't make this up. In the middle of the crossfire. In the cross what? In the cross what? Ignition. Fire. House destroyed by folly. Blow up. Look at all these words. In the other video, I also mentioned words like scorching. You know what I'm hearing sums it up? It's dark and hell is hot. I cannot make this up. Ignition. Everything I throw up, blow up. In the middle of the crossfire. But this is the key one here. It's in yellow. That means this should be taken seriously. I already explained. My loyal 7 will know when I say it's a yellow card, it's a high manifestation card. There's a high likelihood, probability, possibility that this will be somebody's reality very soon. We have this time, I'm going to take the crown without falling down. That's a line from Pretty Hurts by Beyonce. I'll be remiss if I didn't point out how many Beyonce references there have been on the board. Okay, but for someone here, I told you this is your coronation. There is a crown and a throne waiting for you. Okay, on this little side note, remember your faith will make you whole, rich, and famous here. Okay? No matter what. Especially if you're Earth Angel. I cannot make this up. And a truth teller. You could take an oath. You could swear that you tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, no matter what. There's a criminal informant. Time to level up. You're going to get this crown. And you're not going to fall down. Because it's yours. You earned it. You may be a whistleblower. Bringing this to light. Pardon me. Something about this green again. It's giving fresh, new. So you might be fresh and new on the scene. It's also giving me youthful. You might be youthful, a little bit young. Okay, about to work amongst elders. Okay, or you may sit with elders. Because with dominoes, another key thing about dominoes is you want to play with the elders. Because they got the most game, the most insight, the most experience, the most wisdom. Okay? They got the most wisdom here to show you how to build a board. Time to level up. I was also told to put this card back in there because it fell on the ground in the last time it came out, and I just put it to the side, and Spirit said pick that up just to confirm that this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're seeing. This is a prophecy that was given to me unfolding right before our eyes. I cannot make this up. If you don't believe me, you could go back over on TikTok. I believe it was in March, mid-March, close to the ending of March, the spring equinox, to be very specific. I got the download and I shared that the theme of the year will be ultimate betrayal. Okay, and if you haven't seen it yet, you're about to see it. Okay? Next, from the scrap box. So somebody might be coming out of the trenches. Somebody might have been eating scraps, not have had enough, like just a hard knock life. But God has picked you up out of the scrap box. It's about to refurbish you. I think that's why I was inspired to put up Maryland, because that's something I wouldn't do. Okay, I think somebody's going to be transformed into the most beautiful thing here. Okay, you're going to be doted on, because I know when I looked in, I also saw Miley Cyrus Adore You was a suggestion. And that's such a beautiful song. So I think the Lord, your God, wants to adore you, whoever it is you are. Okay, you are like a Marilyn Monroe type. I wrote that down, but I'm not going to go too deep. I'll save that for another message. All right, but you're like a sweetheart, America's sweetheart here. Okay, two more cards left and we'll wrap it up. I have this scrap here that says, I hope you are somewhere praying. I hope your soul is changing, even though is missing. All right. And that could be some kind of indication, inclination that this person needs to do some soul work, because again, teach us to number our days so we may apply our hearts to wisdom. We don't know what tomorrow holds. Just like the song, if tomorrow is judgment day and we're standing on the front line, what are you going to say? How did you live your life? All right, somebody needs to ponder these things, go into a little meditation. All right, see where your heart posture is. All right, because the is missing, so that means you need to check on it to see where it is. Are you in good standing? I hope somebody's out there praying. This is a song by Kesha, and it's one of those heart-moving tracks. I felt the pain in that track. Underneath that, because I don't want to get too emotionally invested in this reading, in this energy, just want to share the messages and get off. Take a little breather and hopefully come back on. Be committed to my word. Like I said, I want to take advantage of the time, but I do need a break from this. Okay, so next we have, all I do is believe, faith as a mustard seed, tears and sweat or sweet. Tears and sweat, that makes the most sense. I bleed to fulfill my every need. That must have been my own little side note there. Let me read it again. All I do is believe, faith as a mustard seed, tears and sweat I bleed to fulfill my every need. Okay, so somebody may resonate with these words. Okay, again, hard knock life. But you're a believer, a true believer, whom I welcome to this channel. I told you this channel is for chosen ones, the true believers. Okay, where it's by faith, where things happen for them. Like DMX. Okay, since we have been bringing his dear name up. Okay, it's truly all by faith. Okay, so you're a very faithful person, whoever it is I'm speaking to, this earth angel here, maybe the whistleblower, truth teller is who's about to blow everything up. Okay, this sink is going down. Okay, soon as it hits the rock, it goes down. We have, he brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. That's taken from Psalm 18, verse 19. Someone could be 37 years old. I'm going to say that again. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. I don't know why this was in the scrap, but maybe this is the reason why you're being taken out the scrap bin, scrap box, trash. Because the Lord wants to deliver you. He delights in you. He sees something in you that he could work with. Doesn't have to be big. Because like I said on this, faith as a mustard seed. Give God something to work with here. A little bit of faith. Just a little bit of faith. And he'll bring you forth into a large place to see all that is possible to them who believe. I'm just going to take one card off the deck. I'm going to shuffle so you don't think anything is pre-planned here. And then pull one card. But I don't want to start preaching. Like I said, I don't want to get too emotionally invested because it might affect me coming back on to share the other messages. Okay, so let me do a quick shuffle here. Okay. Actually, I think I'm going to bring the camera a little lower. Not that you can see the desk fully, but that's what I could do. God wants to use somebody. Hallelujah, amen. Praise the name of the Lord. Okay. You might be an earth angel in disguise and you don't even realize it for someone here. Okay? For somebody else, you might be an angel in disguise, like wearing a mask as if you are a goody-goody, innocent. And you're actually not, okay? So there's somebody here who's not innocent. Again, going back to criminal informant. That's deep. And I hope that part of the message especially gets to somebody in time, okay? Somebody needs to get that message to be careful with their next meeting, okay? Again, these are just speculations, allegations, insinuations, my mental ramblings and rantings, my wild creative imaginations, okay? Do not take anything to heart. Please take everything with a grain of salt. I don't want to hurt nobody. Okay. All right, my Lord. Give it to us. If more than one comes out, so be it. 1 or 2 more minutes won't hurt if you already made it this far. Page of Pentacles. Hermit. Okay, that's earth sign. There's 2 earth signs here. Another Hermit is a Virgo. Okay, so a Virgo may be involved here. Okay, or somebody may be looking into a Virgo. Okay, or a Virgo may want to offer you something. Or you need to look into an offer that's coming from a Virgo. It could be any one of those things. So let me get some more, because I don't want to leave anybody hanging. Somebody may be left hanging. Okay, somebody might hang themselves. I hope YouTube does not catch that. I'm also hearing hung jury. I'm also hearing hang it up, flat screen. That's from Roman's Revenge, I think. Hey, Nikki, asthma. Okay, somebody may have asthma or a speech impediment, like I said before. Okay. That's the 9 of Pentacles. Earth. Somebody needs to come down to earth. Somebody may be leaving this earth. Maybe an earth angel is here to take someone away from this earth. Maybe an earth angel shared a message about someone's departure from this earth. Okay. But there's somebody here in the energy who's a rich person. So this could be a rich person who is being looked into. Or an offer could be coming from a rich person who is an earth sign as well. Could be a Virgo, but it doesn't have to be. All right. I'll take it to 110 if I catch it. Okay, if I catch it, somebody's on the run. Somebody's trying to catch somebody, laying some kind of trap. Leonardo DiCaprio. He was in Titanic. He's Jack. But does he not? Again, this twisting of words here. Does he not star in a movie called Catch Me If You Can? And was that not about some kind of theft or con artistry? Was he not a con man? Catch me if you... Like I said, everything that comes out could be relevant to somebody somewhere out there. Doesn't have to be, though. Yes, that's him. That's him. Way back in the day, 2002. Okay. So Frank works as a doctor, a lawyer, and a co-pilot for a major airline, all before his 18th birthday. Oh, like a jack in a hat. A jack of all trades. Somebody presents themselves as a jack of all trades here.
Okay. Or somebody who's just quite industrious. Okay. Like you could do a lot. You're multi-talented, multi-gifted. But there's deceit here. Okay. This person is a scammer, a fraud, duplicitous. I'm going to end here. I think that's a sign. I'm going to take these in reverse. Which reversal was it? It was a King of Cups down. Like it was a King of Cups up and the Two of Swords down. Or the Two of Swords down and the King of Cups up. Yikes. But again with this air sign, and now we have a little water coming in. So we have a little bit of emotion here. Okay, somebody wants to, if I'm going to read both of these together, somebody's just not hearing it. Whatever somebody has to offer, loving words, explaining their emotions, somebody's over it. Could be this earth sign here, this Nine of Pentacles. They don't want to hear nothing somebody has to say anymore, especially as it pertains to an investigation. Looking at the Hermit right above there, okay? Or the Hermit here is just double-minded. Or double-cross somebody. Somebody who is loving. Like, okay, the last one on top is Knight of Pentacles, and it's in reverse. Alright, I think most of them are probably going to be in reverse. I'm going to end it here because I wanted to stop at 110. Now we're at 112 and counting. So something is still counting. Could be a countdown, okay? Or somebody could be checking someone's accounts, okay? Doing accounting. Somebody could be an accountant, okay? Somebody might be looking into an accountant, looking into a particular account. Or just a rich and wealthy person here. Okay, somebody might not see all of this with this Two of Swords. Somebody's being looked into. And the person who is trying to, like this Earth Angel here, something's being done in love though. There's somebody here who's blowing this whistle out of love, taking this action, has good intentions. It's by faith, like good faith. That's what I'm hearing. This is in good faith. So something is supposed to be done in good faith here. Okay. I'm not going to keep pulling cards to find out more information. But I'll be back though. That's for sure. And I hope you will too. Okay. But if this is where we part, somebody might stutter. Like I said, somebody's going to find it hard to explain something. Not that I am finding it hard to explain this closing. So something might be closing as well. This case, a house, someone's eyes permanently. Okay, could be anything. But if this is where we part, thank you for tuning in for as long as you did. Okay, take good care of yourself. And I leave you with love as well. Okay, but for those who want to stick around, give this video a like if you liked it. I want everything to be honest and organic, so I'm not going to pressure or beg for certain things. I'll ask 1 or 2 times here or there, but no pressure. All right, but if you want to support the channel, it's free to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you feel led to go a little bit above and beyond those things, you could donate to support the channel. PayPal.me//goddessregine, but all this information can be found in the description box. All right, please take a moment to read it because there's a little disclaimer there as well that all this should be taken as entertainment. All right, love you all so much. Bye-bye.